Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live stream. We're back for another week. If you're here live, welcome. If you are watching this after the fact as the replay, welcome to you too. Thanks for being here. Hope you enjoy what you see. Let me know if you guys are here again in the live chat. Go ahead and drop your name, or you don't have to drop your name because your name is included when you type something. Just say where you're coming from. And if you're wearing a fragrance, what is it? Jared Miller, always appreciate you. Thank you for kicking things off with class and style and respect. Really appreciate that. Hello, Abdullah. Hey, Doubles. Good to see you. Doron. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hello, hello. Sacramento. Has it been hot down there? I've been hearing there's been some heat. Chocolate ice. Yo. Tyson air fried chicken. All right. Hey, Cheryl. Good to see you. C Supreme. What's up? Fumito. Welcome. Soleil Blanc. Parade. From what I remember, I've smelled a sample of that. Really nice. Not the most complex, but really, really pleasant. Good stuff. Malcolm. Wearing Blue Moon or Blue Moon. Good to see you. Either way. H-Town. Yep. We just started. Yes, indeed. Hey, Jamie. Up in Scotland. Thanks for being here. Hey, Moses. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could be here right at the start. For those of you who are new to the live stream, what we typically do is for the first 10 minutes or so, I'll sit here in front of my computer, reading the chat, answering your questions, replying to comments of all sorts, and then we'll get started into real business. So yeah, first 10 minutes, I'm just talking to you guys. So thank you for your patience, and feel free to drop a comment or a burning question. Also, your sense of the day, Soleil d'Italia, good stuff. Mon Vetiver, man, I have a sample of that. I have a whole discovery set. I don't think I've actually tried that one yet. I need to do it. Did Kanye call you yet? Yeah, let us know, Jared. Brent, what's up, man? Good to see you, my brother. My brother. For those of you who don't know, Brent Griffin, great friend from Chicago. We've played music together a whole lot over the years. But Brent, man, it's been too long since I've seen you. I need to make it back over there. Phoenix, what's up? What's up, Thomas? Bax from Massachusetts. Wearing that new YSLY. Okay. All righty. Isaac from London. Colonia Essenza. Man, I've almost reacquired that a few times. I used to have it. I liked it when I had it, but I remember at some point someone had made it just a comment saying, oh yeah, it reminds me of bug spray. And I cannot unsmell it now. So I had to get rid of it, but I've been wanting to come back to it. It's a beautiful scent. Man, you guys are really piling in. I appreciate it. I'm trying to keep up with these comments here. Let's see. All right. Is that, I was getting Netherlands, Sweden. I always mix up your flags. I apologize, but thank you for being here. Hey, yes, Doron. I think it's a great idea. What's up, Allie? Appreciate it. Tony is blending here. He's layering them up. Absolute aphrodisiac with musk therapy. Well, it's an initio blend, so that's cool. Staying in the house. First one, my brother. What's up, Andre? Thanks for being here from Brighton. I'm trying to remember, have I been to Brighton? I feel like I've been to Brighton. I feel like I've been there. I was in England last summer, and I think I went to Brighton and had a great time. We went to like 15 or 16 different cities, so sometimes it's hard to remember. Blue Moon Ginger Dash. I still got to try that one. All right. Once again, those of you just piling in and you're brand new to the stream, welcome. We'll take the next 4 minutes and 15 seconds of just answering your comments. Typically, we'll do the first 10 minutes of this. So, Climatic, always appreciate you. Thank you so much. Legend Spirit, that's a discontinued one. I know a lot of people like that one and are looking for it these days. I think it's still out there. I don't know how cheap it is now, but real pleasant. Reminds me of like Invictus Aqua, kind of that vibe, but a little cleaner and less aquatic from my memory. It's been a while. Pacific Rock, Pacific Rock, Pacific Rock Moss. That's a good one. I haven't smelled it in a long time, but I remember liking it. Jared, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. What flavor is Second Soul? I'm not exactly sure how to answer that. Maybe rephrase the question so I can serve you better. I think you'll like Mon Veteran. Okay, I like the Juniper Gin vibe. Interesting. My interest is piqued. It's peaked. Cyril from South Africa. Always good to see you. Thanks for being here. Tabak Rose, man. Opulent. Beautiful stuff. Have I tried Cure from YSL? No, I haven't. I haven't tried most of whatever they call it, the Le Vestiaire, whatever they call that Privé collection. I have not tried it. I've tried Tuxedo, and I think that's it. I think it's the only one I've tried. Climatic, thanks again for the super chat. Headed to Portland. What's a good day besides hopscotch? No, there's nothing better than that, man. Just stick to hopscotch. A good date activity. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you guys like walking, then there's a lot of beautiful scenery to see just by walking around the city, depending on where you're staying. Assuming you're staying downtown, then, you know, there's a lot to see there, of course. There's some beautiful parks, some great parks, especially Council Crest. That's one I definitely recommend checking out. Council Crest Park. It has this giant hill that is the largest hill in the city. And you get to see the entire city and all the surrounding mountains from there and stuff. So I recommend that you could even picnic up there if you want. Watch a Blazers game. Sure. Yeah. Except they're not really playing just yet. Norway. All right. Rob, good to see you, man. I have to sneeze. Thank you. I've seen other YouTubers do that. They sneeze and then they say thank you in anticipation of a bless you. But you guys are not obligated to type that. John, I see a question here. Abu, thank you so much. Maddie, thank you so much. You featured a fragrance on one of your EPs, but I lost it. A cuboid bottle, stunning with a portrait of like French royalty, blue and red jewel, like cubed bottle, blue and red jewel, portrait of French royalty, cube. I don't know why that's not ringing a bell. John, I will put some thought into that. If that comes back to me over the course of this stream, I'll let you know. But I'm curious now. Carmel, thank you. You guys are too kind. Thank you. Okay. We are at the 10-minute mark officially. So let's get started here. So as you can see, this is, I cannot remember who has been coining this term in the comments on my videos, but I appreciate it. This is another simple but not basic video. So yes, it is what it seems, summer night. We did a summer day fragrances stream, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago to a month ago, and that seemed to do well. I think a lot of you guys enjoyed that. So I figured, why not follow it up with a night fragrance video? Night fragrances for the summer are not talked about quite as explicitly as just daytime or just regular summer fragrance. A lot of the time we just say, oh, summer fragrances, but we don't really specify, because there are fragrances in the summer that I would not wear during the day, that I would wear in the evening, just because it's less warm, and they might still have some freshness to them, but they'll have a little bit of maybe a sweetness in there, or some warmer woody aspects that would be a little bit too much for the heat, but work very well with a nice warm-ish breeze in the evening. So that is the very loose criteria that we're going for with the 10 fragrances I've selected here. They're all linked in the description down below. You know, you're welcome to spoil the surprise for yourself if you want, but I don't recommend that. But if you want to see everything I'm going to talk about, it's down there with links if you want to try any of what we are talking about today. So first up is the one in the thumbnail. This is no particular order here. L'Envol from Cartier. Yeah, the one in the thumbnail, let's get it out of the way. So this, I think, perfectly sums up the criteria I was talking about. It does have a little bit of a freshness to it, but it's an unusual freshness by way of violet leaf. So it's not an overly aromatic, like lavender, soapy, clean freshness. It's not an overly citrusy, bright freshness. It is more of like an almost metallic, cold, cucumber-like freshness, as people kind of equate to violet leaf. Doesn't smell like cucumbers, but if you can imagine cucumbers in ice water, that is kind of the type of freshness we're talking about. But that is only the beginning of the scent. From there, it is sweetened by honey, kind of like the look of this bottle. It is like a sweet, fresh honey, not too sticky, not animalic that, you know, like honey can be. It's not overpowering. It is perfectly balanced. And then that is, I think maybe there's a touch of iris in here, kind of adding a slightly powdery floral touch, but it really just rounds out the scent, and it dries to some woody vetiver. This is some elegant stuff. I will say that if you've never smelled a fragrance quite like this, it's going to be a little weird to you, perhaps. It may not be an absolute love, but if you're looking for something different, this might be something you enjoy. Bulgari Man, the original Bulgari Man, which came out, I don't know, sometime in the last 10, 15 years, basically has this profile. And then Cartier made this. I can't say that they tried to copy it or anything like that. They are similar. They have some similar constituents and kind of a similar vibe in terms of this type of freshness, in terms of this type of honeyed sweetness. However, this is way more interesting than the Bulgari. It dries down to much more interest and just character. The Bulgari just kind of falls flat on my skin. Maybe it was reformulated over the years, but either way, if you have not yet checked out Cartier L'Envol, this is the Eau de Parfum. They do have an Eau de Toilette. It's a slightly lighter color, and it's going to be a slightly fresher profile. But I love this for the summer nights. The EDT you could probably pull off in the day, but this is great for night. It's just kind of a unique option to wear like on a date or something that, you know, it gets a good bit of attention because it's a little different, but it's not completely off the wall where it's going to just rub people the wrong way. I would just say don't overspray it, because it could get really weird very quick if you do that. All right, next up. I've talked about this one once before. I did it in a YouTube short, so many of you may have missed it. But we're going to talk about it again. This is from kind of this up and coming niche / indie brand. I don't know exactly what you want to call them. You could call them niche. Why not? Related to Alexandria fragrances, but a different brand doing their own thing and doing original fragrances, which I always appreciate. This is from Sphinx, and they call this Sphinx Signature. This beautiful, like emerald green bottle. Now, this one is very playful. This is very, very sweet and fruity with like a warm kind of cinnamon, spiciness with a little bit of a clean lavender, making it a little fresh. Again, it has that balance of fresh and sweet that we're kind of going for. It is pretty playful, borderline juvenile, I would say. It almost has a little bit of a mainstream appeal to it, but the ingredients here are well done. It does not come together smelling like that typical, boyish mainstream designer fragrance. There's something a little bit more put together about it, but it is quite sweet. So you have been warned. If you don't love sweet fragrances, then you may not love this, but I think it is an alluring sweetness, especially when you smell it in the air. Sir Siaj is saying it looks like a Lalique Encre Noir bottle cap. That is an interesting observation. It does kind of look like that. Who knows? It could be same stock bottle if they're getting their bottles from Lalique, because I'm sure Lalique makes their own bottles. But either way, it's a nice design. So yeah, pretty simple, not basic, just like this live stream. Once again, everything's going to be linked down in the description, not necessarily in order. Okay, let's move on. This fragrance is from Roja Parfums, and this is, I won't say this is my favorite from the house, just because there are others that I find a little bit more wearable and more versatile. However, this is probably one of the fragrances from the house that I respect the most, because it is one of the most unique fragrances from the house. This doesn't really smell like anything else other than one other fragrance that they made that is actually a little similar. So I don't know what's up with that. That does happen from time to time within the house. But this is, again, one of my most respected fragrances because it's just different. This is called a Midsummer Dream. This is worth a sample. Don't blind buy it. I know a lot of you are not interested and paying the price that this would cost for a full bottle. So I recommend getting a decant. Again, there's going to be a link down below. And gosh, this is so different, but it's beautiful. It is niche perfumery. It's very luxurious. It has beautiful quality the way it comes together. The way I can try to describe this, it is kind of tough to describe because, again, it's different. This is a fresh, spicy, kind of like mossy, woody, sweet rose. There's a little bit of this almost medicinal sweetness from elemi resin. It's kind of bittersweet in a way, but there's a dry, almost dusty, woody mossiness kind of enveloping it. And in the middle of it is this fresh rose that is just very beautiful and still pretty masculine, I would say. So guys who are a little squeamish about rose, don't worry about it. Volcanist, thank you so much for the super chat. Florist Elite, I haven't tried that, but I have a few from Florist that I enjoy. Guys, if you're going to try one fragrance from Roja Parfums and you want it to be very different and unique, this is an underrated one, honestly, but sample it first. Beautiful for a night out, especially an elegant one. If you're going to be mostly outdoors and you're going to be dressed up a little bit more, this is beautiful. Also, I do think it's pretty unisex. Ladies, you could easily pull this off as well. Yeah, as long as you like kind of a drier, woody profile that is made a little sweet, fresh. There's a touch of a powderiness in there, but I think it's mostly up close, especially on paper. So this is beautiful. Do check it out if you haven't already. Let me make sure I'm not missing any awesome comments, but all of your comments are awesome. Is the signature one that has a cotton candy sweetness. It's pretty sweet. I don't know if I would liken it to cotton candy. It is fruity for sure, but it's very sweet. So you might be thinking of the same one. I just don't call it cotton candy. Jorge, good to see you. What bottle sizes do you buy normally? I like the 100 milliliter more in terms of price quantity, but it feels impossible to kill 100 milliliter. Your reasoning is exactly why I don't prefer 100 milliliters. The way I look at it, if you are saying it's going to be hard to use up an entire 100 if I could talk, 100 milliliter bottle, that means that you don't need 100 milliliters. It's as simple as that. The whole price price value thing, oh, you get more for your money. No, because you're paying more money. At the end of the day, you're paying more money, and you're paying more money for more fragrance you're not going to use. If you had like 2 or 3 bottles, I'd say, sure, yes, 100 milliliters all the way, because you're going to use it up. So you're getting your money's worth. But if you're acquiring fragrances on at least a monthly basis, 100 milliliters is unnecessary. Just save your money and get a smaller size. That's what I'd say. Hope that makes sense. I have not tried Mind Games yet. I've been hearing great things. I was looking into them the other day, actually, and they look super interesting. Just the concepts. I love the concept of chess, and I love a lot of the note breakdowns. They look very unique. All right, moving on. This is a fragrance that I haven't talked about in a while, which is kind of silly because it's a fragrance I've been wearing a lot of since it came out. And it's a fragrance that would not exist without Stay Fresh Productions, Second Soul. Yeah, you could call it a shameless plug, whatever you want. But I do believe that shameless Second Soul is a perfect summer night fragrance for those who want to have a grown and sexy vibe. This is Elegant Grown Sexy. And some of you in the chat, I know you've tried it, and I know you can probably attest. So if you've tried it and you're in the chat, go ahead and leave a comment. But just to sum it up very quickly, because I've talked about it a few times on the channel, I have videos dedicated to it that you can go back and watch if you're interested. It does have a little bit of a barbershop quality, kind of this fresh, creamy, spicy, clean, soapy Fougere feeling, but not overtly soapy. It is mostly warm, sweet, boozy, a little bit leathery, a little bit smoky. It's kind of all of that together. It's like this dark, resinous, sweet tobacco, boozy shave soap. That's the best way I could describe it, but a little bit more on the sweet, boozy, earthy, leathery tobacco than on the shave soap vibe. Hope that makes sense. That is Second Soul. There's still some available. It is limited quantity. Going to have a link down below. Onward. All right. Boss says masculine, fresh, not too sweet. Rob says very sexy and alluring. Puissant, I still don't know how to answer your question. I hope my description did, though, because I don't know what you mean by that. If you're trolling me, let me know. Next up is from the House of Argos. I haven't been talking about Argos a whole lot here and there, but they're still one of my favorites. They still have beautiful quality inside and out. I just sprayed it, guys. This thing is all up in the air right now. This is called Danaë. And just this bottle itself is just so captivating. When you get one in hand, you know what I mean. It's hefty, it's weighty. Materials are top-notch. This beautiful metal cap. You have this beautiful inlay plate that is not like haphazardly attached. It's not a glue or anything like that. It's just, again, everything is top-notch. So this is kind of like a blonde, creamy sandalwood fragrance with a little bit of this sweet resinous feeling from labdanum, which is actually where Second Soul draws a lot of its sweetness. Cistus labdanum. It's a resin that comes from the rock rose. This is using a similar sweetness. They don't smell anywhere near the same. But this has a little bit of citrus up top, a little bit of spice, but it dries into this warm, creamy sandalwood, sweet, resinous, kind of sexy scent. There's something about this in the air that is alluring. And it is pretty dang unisex, I must say. But yeah, anyone can enjoy this. This is good stuff. This is one of my favorites from the house. It's one of the more versatile options, I would say, even though it's pretty sweet, but not like cotton candy fruity, not this juvenile type of sweetness. Again, labdanum using a resinous sweetness gives it a little bit more character, a little bit more sophistication, I would say. Again, great for a night out. Could be more casual. You can also dress it up a little bit, I would say. Mr. Got Plenty says, I get plenty when I wear brass and soul. What an idiomatic comment. I love it. The ball says he got a sample of Danae. It's good stuff, right? Sandalwood's my favorite over lavender. All right. Peaches and cream. Who doesn't? That's good stuff. I have all sample of all Zeds 2.0, all fire. All right. Great. Thank you so much. Mr. Got Plenty says, I'm sure Justin gets plenty with that view. Appreciate you. The view is wonderful. Never gets old. Okay, we're halfway through, guys. Moving pretty quick. Next one up is maybe a little polarizing, but technically it is a designer fragrance, but maybe not a mainstream fragrance, just based on its scent profile. This is classy. This is a classy, fresh scent, but definitely less fresh than its predecessor, the Eau de Toilette. A little bit more mossy, woody, a little bit more damp, earthy from Narcissus flower. H24 Eau de Parfum. This is the EDP version, not the EDT. EDT is great for the daytime. I don't think you would want to wear the EDP in the daytime. It's a little too bottom heavy, a little too dense. It has that beautiful clary sage sweetness, which is more of an herbal sweetness. Again, not like a fruity sweetness, not like a vanilla or tonka bean or cotton candy. Doesn't smell edible. It's more, again, herbaceous, which, again, I think not too I was going to say dissimilar. Different, similar, dissimilar, not too different from Cistus labdanum that we were just talking about. It is a little bit more of a sophisticated sweetness, but it is found quite a bit in mainstream perfumery. Now, I'm just going to get it out of the way. I've seen people say this smells like metallic bananas. I can see where you're coming from. I can see it if I tilt my head. I can see that. Still smells great to me. It does have this clean metallic feel. That is the fresh quality, sweetened quite a bit by this robust clary sage, and there's a nice, rich, damp, earthy oak moss. Overall, the scent is green, but sweet green. Really interesting. Very classy, a little simple, but not basic. I had to say it. This is good stuff, guys. Do check out Hermes H24 Eau de Parfum. There's going to be a link down below. Yeah, maybe not as alluring as some of the other options, but again, maybe classier. So just keep that in mind. Now, this one is alluring. This is a cozy fragrance. What I find that is that fragrances that work really well in the fall or the spring also work very well on a summer night, as long as it's not like 100 degrees Fahrenheit and 100% humidity. Then wear your fresher fragrances. But if there is a mildness where you live, if the air temperature cools a bit, if there is a nice breeze outside, then those fragrances that you reach for in the fall and spring can work well on a summer night, especially if they have a little bit of a freshness to it. That's why we're talking about this balance of fresh and sweet. This one up is a perfect fall scent, cozy, cuddly, by the fire, or a great date scent going out, nice dinner, movie, whatever it is, but works beautifully on a summer night because it has that balance. This is L'Homme Ideal from Guerlain, the original eau de toilette. And geez, this stuff is one of the most unique mainstream style fragrances. Just the collection in general. Man, this is gorgeous. This is creamy almond with almost a sweet syrupy cherry feel, but there is a little freshness in here. A little bit open, transparent, not too dense, rich, and like cherry syrup dumped on top of almonds. No, it's not quite like that. There's an airiness. There is a good bit of leather and woods behind that. Some tonka bean, I think, is really where the cherry feel comes from. Especially tonka bean and almond working together. The woods, which I think is maybe vetiver, is a perfect choice here because it adds a little bit of a bitterness, which I think gives it balance. It's this, well, almond can be bitter too. Maybe it's both of them, but I do get a bitter woodiness in the background. So it is bittersweet, but mostly sweet, a little supple smelling with the leather, just like warm, cozy, a little, pretty alluring, like I said, but there's others I'd say that are a little bit more so. But nonetheless, this is great. Get a sample of this if you haven't tried this one yet, guys. This one there's a reason why they just keep making flankers, and all the flankers, for the most part, are solid. One of the few lines where like almost every flanker is like, this is a true flanker. They took the original, they took the identity of the original, and they gave it a new personality with new function. I always appreciate that. Anyway, that is L'Homme Ideal by Guerlain. Once again, links down in the description to everything. Live on the trail, Devin. I appreciate that. I hope it's not too distracting. Enjoy it out there. It's a beautiful morning. Illusione Porum made the cut yet? That one is good. I haven't actually been absolutely loving it, so it hasn't been featured in a little while, but I do plan on giving it a little bit more wear this summer. I have not mentioned either of those, Devin, but thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Okay, next up, man, this stuff is for the gentleman. This is for the refined, gentlemanly, sophisticated guys with a little bit more of a mature soul, not worried about the thrills and the frills of chasing girls or going to the club. They're confident in themselves. There's an authoritative feel here, but as a result, there's a sexiness here from Tom Ford Fougere d'Argent. Like I said, I might reach for this more in the spring and the fall. Fougères are perfect for those seasons, for the transitions, but as a result, perfect for a summer night. A little bit of a clean lavender freshness, but a nice, warm, cozy, woody dry down. Man, a little spicy. It's sweeter than your average Fougère, I would say. And I think that coupled with this woodiness, this dry woodiness, as it dries on the skin, it has almost this licoricey feel, this anise feel. Grace actually mentioned that. And I'm like, you know what? It does kind of have a little bit of a spicy licorice feel, which may not sound amazing to some of you. It's not overt, but that's the closest thing I think I could tie it to. It makes sense. But it still has a cleanliness to it. It still has a bit of a barbershop edge, but it's attractive. It's very attractive smelling. Fougere d'Argent. Definitely less mature smelling also than your average Fougere. Get a sample. I recommend it. Let's see, do I like Bleu Noir? I do. I have the Eau de Parfum. That one's also great for a summer night, but it's not on this list. Bilbo is here. Good to see you. I think it's worth a try on a summer night. Give it a try, especially if you're going to be mostly outdoors. I did not know that. And Malcolm is the reason why I have this bottle. So Malcolm, thank you so much. I really do love it. And I did not know it means salty. Does it really? D'argent? I thought like salé meant salt or salty. Maybe there's a different idiomatic translation. I don't know. I always thought d'argent was like silver or something like that. But now I'm curious. I could be wrong. All right. Let's see. Okay, let's move on. Our next fragrance is a flanker. For those who don't like the original version of this fragrance, and I know there's many people out there who are like, nope, it's nasty. It smells old, smells like old man, whatever. This might be one you appreciate because they took the original, they refined it a little bit, they rounded the smooth edge, they smoothed out the edges, I'll say. It's a little warmer, a little thicker. The way it kind of hangs in the air is a little bit more elegant. However, the original is a masterpiece. I'm not downplaying that. But this, in many ways, they just improved it. Hermes Parfum. Yes, EDT is good for summer as well. Honestly, I would also wear it in the nighttime during the summer or in a climate-controlled environment. I would not wear it in the heat of the day. I think it can get a little bit too much. I would prefer the Eau Givre flanker for a hot day. But nighttime, this would be my go-to pick, is the Parfum. Man. This is earthy, woody, dry vetiver, which is a grass. Doesn't smell like green grass. It smells more like woods with a little bit of an orange kind of zestiness to it. But again, unlike the original, rounded, smooth. It smells like it's like a spherical scent profile. Smooth edges, man. It's super classy. No real sweetness here, to be honest. But I think with a little bit of that warm summer breeze, it kind of just makes the scent come to life. This is beautiful. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. This is so classy. So classy. That's Terre Hermes, the Parfum version. This is so good. Get a sample if you haven't tried it. I apologize for the sniffing here. Making sure I'm not missing something. Oh, okay. Got it. Cool. Oh, yeah, silver salt. That's quite a change there. I love the EDT more, but Terre Hermes is not for everyone. No, it's definitely not. I hated it when I first smelled it. I hated it. It smelled so nasty when I sprayed it in a Sephora, but I dig it now. Okay, we have one more fragrance, guys. The last one. Before we get to that, let me check through these comments. Intense Vetiver, I see a couple comments about that. I actually smelled the Eau Intense Vetiver for the first time just a couple days ago. Not on skin, but in a Sephora. I finally gave it a spray, and I really like it. Now, I didn't spend a ton of time with it. To me, it smelled like the rest of the line. I'm like, okay, smells like Terre Hermes, but a little bit more woody. To me, it would be a little redundant to have if you already have the Eau de Toilette or the Parfum. That's just how I feel for my first impression, but didn't wear it on skin. But I mean, I love the DNA, so I naturally enjoyed it, but I'm like, I don't know if I would get it because it's kind of like the others for me. Jorge, what is the difference between French, English, Italian fragrances and so on in terms of scent profile? That is a loaded question. That's a loaded question. There are some fundamental differences from what I've learned, mainly when we're talking about the classical styles of perfumery um, from each region, each culture. Um, you know, uh, Today I couldn't say, oh yeah, Italian perfumery is this way. I mean, there's Italian brands that try to do Middle Eastern stuff. There's French brands that try to do American stuff. I mean, everyone's crossing over these days, but um, classically, there's a difference. French tends to be a little bit maybe more, the chic or the fougere. There's a posh cleanliness to it. Maybe not overly robust, not the strongest fragrances all the time. These are total generalizations. Italian is a little bit more on the citrus aromatic side. They're using ingredients that come from Italy, like the Italian coast, Amalfi, Calabria, using those citruses, using lots of herbs. And I don't know. That's the best I think I could say. I couldn't definitively speak about English perfumery. There's a lot of styles there. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea. But these days, it's not so clear cut. There's a lot of blurred lines. But if we go back, you can definitely see more dividing lines. All right, let's get this last fragrance out the way, and then I'll take a few more questions. And then we'll move on with our days here. So this last fragrance, brand new to my collection, brand spanking new. I was very reluctant about getting this because I had owned its predecessors in the past. There was an eau de toilette. I had that like 5 or 6 years ago. I got rid of it because I got bored of it. I got the eau de parfum flanker. I wore that a lot, but I got bored of that too. I got rid of that. The Parfum came out, and I was like, it's probably going to be more of the same. I'm going to go ahead and pass on that. And this was like maybe 4 years ago, something like that when it came out. I can't remember exactly now, but I just totally said I'm not going to worry about it. But I've been seeing people talking about it a lot, more and more and more over the years, especially in my comments. And I'm like, you know what? I need to go back and try this. I have a video coming out probably sometime next week, if not the week after, where I'm doing a vlog. I did a vlog a few months ago that I called Basic Bro Week. I think the title of the video was like, I wore 7 of the most complimented fragrances for 7 days or something like that. And you guys seem to really enjoy that. If you missed it, I recommend checking it out. It was a fun video. I'm doing a follow-up. I'm kind of in the middle of filming it over the course of this past week. And in the video, in the vlog, I actually went and picked this up, and that as part of one of the segments. Enough suspense. Bleu de Chanel Parfum. Climatic is right. I finally got the Parfum. I didn't want the 100 milliliter, but they didn't have the 50. And I went to a Nordstrom. This lady was looking all over the place. She's like, I can't find any 50s. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I want the fragrance. I actually did give it a spray while I was there, spent some time with it. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Let's just do it. I want it now. So we'll just do it. So, John, you thought it was Nautica Voyage. Yeah, I know, man. The Parfum version of Nautica Voyage is a banger. So those of you sleeping on it, don't make the mistake I did. Get that Parfum Nautica Voyage. This is good stuff. It is the best in the line if you're asking me. Maybe not the most versatile. Eau de Parfum, I'd say, is most versatile. But it is the best. It has the most refinement. It has the most just presence. Not necessarily the strongest one. Again, Parfum doesn't always mean, oh, it's going to be a stronger version. Not necessarily. It's the profile. It's the personality. It's how it behaves. It is heavier, richer, sits closer to the skin, but moves slower through the air. It is still that fresh kind of blue vibe, almost shower gel, but way smoothed out, a little bit warmer, woodier. It's nice. I've only worn it a couple times and I've enjoyed it. Doesn't really evolve on my skin a lot, but the originals didn't either. But I can easily say I like it more. And I do think this is perfect for a summer night. It does have a little bit of that clean playfulness that the original has, but it's more sophisticated here. This is a little bit more dressed up. I would wear this in all black on a night out and just feel clean but alluring all at the same time. It's a perfect blend of some great elements. So I got to give it to Chanel. However, we've been rocking with Bleu de Chanel in terms of a men's targeted mainstream release. We've had Bleu de Chanel. It's been, I think, what Bleu de Chanel came out in what, like 2010, 2014? It came out in 2010. It's 2010. It's been 13 years since we've gotten a new male marketed mainstream release from Chanel. 13 years. They've been riding the blue train. Now, I understand why, because it's working. And they kind of blew up the whole market as a result, causing all these other brands to do their blue fragrances and whatnot. And it's caused a whole a craze. And money is there to be made. So I get it. They're not getting off the train. But, you know, it's been, what, 4 years, like I said, since the Parfum came out. Let me make sure. Was that 2019? 2018. It's been 5 years since the Parfum came out. Come on, guys. We're waiting. Now, that being said, I hope it's not Bleu de Chanel Elixir that we're getting next. Yes, we want a new fragrance from Chanel, but Elixir seems like it would make the most sense because everyone's doing it. It would be a little weird of them to not do it, but I hope not. Something new. Surprise us. Please. You guys, they've had so much time. So much time. I don't think they're struggling on funds either. We'll see. Okay, we'll take a few minutes, answer a few thoughtful questions, and we'll be on our way here. I agree. Perfect for summer out. That's why I had to put it in this video. Mysterious grown-up brother to the others. I agree. Do you think fan your flames would work for a summer night? Yes. Yes, I do. As long as it's not too humid, there's a nice breeze. As long as you don't spray too much. I find that stuff to be pretty nuclear. So I wouldn't spray more than 2 or 3 times. And I would make sure that I'm mostly going to be outside to let it breathe, because it can choke people out. But yeah, I think it could work. Not my first choice, but it could work. He said 1 spray. Yeah, 1 spray might be enough too, especially if it's pretty warm. Yassine is asking, what is the best Zaharoff summer scent you prefer? My favorite right now is Renaissance. I still have yet to try Torino. I haven't been able to track it down for a price I want. It's always sold out. So one day I'll try it, but people seem to really dig that one too. But right now, it's Renaissance. Well, I guess Yassine was asking this question a lot. Hey, sometimes you guys gotta be persistent, I guess. But yes, Yassine, I answered the question. Hope that's all right. Ryan, Reflection Man. Perfect oud. I still haven't tried anything from Mezensier. Osaito is really nice. I have Osaito. I don't wear it a ton. It doesn't stand out to me a whole lot. I'm going to give it another wearing, though. It's probably been since last summer since I've worn it. Ivory Root. I've heard good things. I haven't tried it yet. I heard similar to 40 Knots. It's not like what you would expect from the aesthetic. Not necessarily fresh, summery. Torino 22 is nice, but not for hot summer. Good to know. Thank you, Abu. What do you think of De La Nuit? I still haven't tried any from that collection. I've heard great things, though. Hey, Patrick. Do I think Roger Summer scents are worth the price? You know, that's always a hard question for me to answer for you. For me, I would say there are some that are worth sampling. Any of them that sound interesting to you are worth getting a decant. But any fragrance that is $300 plus is not worth blind buying. No matter how good it might be, it's not worth blind buying. So I can't say it's worth the price, but I love his fragrances and I would say they are worth sampling. Easy. Hope that helps. Favorite freshie from Parfum Marley? Probably Sedley. I do like Sedley. It's not my favorite fragrance ever, but if I had to pick a freshie, it's Sedley, and I've worn it a lot over the years. Cheryl, thanks so much. Have a great day, great night, whatever it's going to be for you. View of cooler summer nights. Yeah, sure. I haven't spent a ton of time with 100 Silent Ways. I think it's a little bit more of like a kind of a white floral fragrance from what I remember, but with some other elements to it. Yeah, I'd say go for it. From what I remember, I think it would be great for that type of scenario. Tangerine Boy. Tangerine Boy. Is that Fleur? Who makes that? Oh, yeah, it is. I haven't tried it, but I actually just heard about it the other day. I have tried one from Ex Nihilo. I have what they call vetiver moloko, which I believe is milk vetiver milk. It is kind of a lactonic, woody vetiver. Very different as far as vetiver goes. I've heard beautiful things about Lyra, but I have not yet tried it. From what I know about it, it seems like it'd be best in any time outside of the summer. I'm not sure about a summer night. I hear it's pretty dense, but those of you who've worn it, maybe you can speak up and say, oh yeah, no, it's good all year round. But from what I understand, any time outside of the summer, I think would be the best time. All righty. Jill Xander's Son. I've seen it on the discounters. It's still out there. The most expensive fragrance I ever blind bought. As reviewers should say, if they don't say it, do as we say, not as we do. That's my caveat. The most expensive fragrance I've ever blind bought was, well, it technically wasn't a blind buy, but I hadn't yet worn it on my skin. Amouage Overture, man. I had only smelled it on paper and I was blown away. And I basically blind bought it. At the time, it wasn't yet widely available in North America, so I had to buy it from overseas, and I probably paid a little over $300 for it. But it was worth it for me because I had already tried it. And I'm like, this stuff is beautiful quality. And fortunately, I got a similar experience on my skin, if not better, compared to what I got on paper. Yeah, that's what I hear. Thank you, Sir Siage, for chiming in. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Always good to see you here, man. All right. Blind buy. I hope you like it. That's what matters the most. I mean, it's a good price, but do you like it? I hope so. It's a great scent. I like it. I do have a 50 milliliter bottle. You would think Chanel would release a new flanker since they picked T. Chalamet as ambassador. Yeah, we'll see, Peter. We will see. Okay. Yeah. Oh, almost knocked the mic over. Jeez. I think that's a sign that I need to get going here. We'll do a few more questions. Let's see. I'm looking for the heavy hitter questions. Heavy hitters. Let's see. Heavy hitters. This is a thoughtful question. Do you ever layer? And if so, what is your favorite layering combo? I don't layer. I do not layer. I love to enjoy my fragrances as individual pieces. And most of the fragrances I have are ones that were made to be enjoyed that way. There are some that are, of course, made to be layered, but I'm just not a fan. I just don't like to experiment in that way. I'd rather just have that one personality and identity, the way it was created by the perfumer, and just enjoy it in that way. But if you love to layer, go for it. Enrique, I feel like you got here a little late. We talked about H24 EDP in this live stream. So yes, I do. Okay, I see some of you guys just spamming. Coach Ali, please don't spam a question like that, man. That gets a little annoying. I answered Yassine's question because I didn't see how many times he wrote it. But I'm seeing Yassine's asking a question a lot. Guys, if you have a question and it's just about a certain fragrance, I don't know if I consider that all that pressing. So ask your question, sure, but you know, you don't need to spam the chat because that's a little disrespectful and just not good etiquette. Brent, I don't mean to be disrespectful or rude. I'm just trying to be real here. What's up, Brent? Follow up to layering. What unscented body washes might you recommend? That's a good question. You know, I used to be very intentional about unscented body washes and soaps, mainly soaps. I don't really worry about it all that much these days, but there is a soap if you're interested in a bar soap. Because I don't know if I have any great body wash recommendations, but there's a brand called Schmidt's, SCHMIDT, apostrophe S. They're actually based here in Portland. And they make some great unscented products. They make a deodorant, they make soap. They might have a body wash. I actually haven't used them in a while, but I remember really enjoying their products. So again, Schmidt's, if you forget, feel free to text me and I'll remind you. But they got some good stuff, so I would check them out. Okay. Native has some good stuff as well. Yeah, they do. All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to be it. I'd like to stop before the hour mark. I see some people are already taking off. So we're going to end the stream here. Tomorrow, I got a really great video coming. Really great video. It is maybe another simple but not basic video, but it'll be fun. It'll be engaging. There'll be some great recommendations and some great edits. I spent a long time editing this one. So look out for that tomorrow. And if you missed yesterday's video on aquatic fragrances, check it out. We did another ingredient video in the series, and aquatics was the topic. So do check that out. And yeah, I think that's really it, guys. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Saturday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Yeah, thanks for all your support. We'll talk soon. Take care. Hey, Gerard. Bye, everyone.